The part of starting close to cash, which is as important, is looking at every value chain, whether you're selling a product or you're selling a service. If you productify it and look at it from a product point of view, there are parts that the cycle to turn into cash is a lot faster than other parts. Focus on the part of that business that you can easily turn to cash, and then you can expand out of that as you begin to scale, as you begin to grow, as you begin to get confidence from the lenders or investors. Then you can begin to backwards integrate, to begin to expand to those parts of the business, of the value chain, that might take longer to get to cash, but they also help to improve your margin. That is where you begin to diversify your business. I'll give this example, which I've given quite a lot of times, about a soy milling business. We were at a pitching event where a lot of SMEs came to pitch for investors. Private investors were there, banks were there as well. And there was this particular company that stood out to every one of us. They were selling soya oil. Now, the interesting part of what this young man was doing, he was selling the soybean oil in the northern part of Nigeria. But if you think about the production line, the value chain to get to that point where you have soybean oil, there's a growing part of the soybean, the farmers who grow it. You could have been involved in that part. There's the aggregation bit where you aggregate and buy the soybean. There's cash involved in that, even though it might be a shorter cycle, but there's cash to buy the soybean. There's a processing part where you set up all the nice capex equipment, to be able to process the soybean, to crush and to extract the oil and get, it into the packaging section where you package, you market, and you distribute. The interesting thing about the business model of this guy was that he did none of the early parts of that business model. All he was doing was he was sourcing and buying the soybean oil from somebody who was processing, more or less B2B, and he buys it, takes it to the north, packages it, brands the packaging, and sells. And as the time it came for investing, he was doing a few millions in dollars, in sales. Now, he came to that meeting and was asking for money because he wanted to backwards integrate to set up his own processing plants. Guess what? He got the financing he was looking for. But if you look at where he started from in that particular value chain, the amount of money would have required, yes, it would still have required some money to buy the oil, but at that space, you can also manage the volume you buy, how you trade, and then you scale from there. So the lesson I'm trying to pass across today is the benefit of starting small, but also, starting close to where the cash is.